If you've been around YouTube very long, it's very likely that you have been recommended a video where a hyper polyglot goes on camera and speaks 7 languages at once, 16 languages at once, in some cases over 20 languages at once. While some of these may be true, they might be extending the truth a little bit. I'd like to provide a little context around them to help you better understand what's real and what's not. So in this video, we're going to watch some of these Polyglot Speaks a Million Languages videos to analyze kind of what is realistic and what's not realistic. We're going to hear it from these polyglots themselves, because some of them self-admittedly don't even speak every single language fluently. And then finally, at the end of this video, I'm going to learn a language that I do not know and speak it in front of the camera, come up with something to say to show you that it wouldn't be that difficult to fake being fluent in a language that you actually don't know for views, for money. If you like this content, please subscribe and let's get to the video. All right, first up, we have a classic Polyglot Speaking a Million Languages video where hyper polyglot speaking in 16 languages. Okay, this is the hyper polyglot. This is the guy that's going to be speaking in all of these languages. We're just gonna watch certain clips of him speaking in the different languages. And one of the things I wanna point out that I think lends a lot of credibility to this video, and I think lends something you should look out for when watching these videos, is what is the actual format of the video. In this video, the format is that this guy is going to speak, actually have conversation with different people in different languages, kind of one after the other. All right, so first up, he's gonna be speaking Romanian.
Bună ziua, Emanuele!
Bună ziua, ce faci?
Eu foarte bine, și tu?
Și eu.
Bine.
Mulțumesc.
Am văzut că vorbește foarte multe limbile străine.
Da?
Și de ce ai învățat românește?
Pentru că am fost în România, țara m-a plăcut foarte mult și am mulți prieteni acolo și de asta am început să învăț cu o carte de citit și așa.
Am înțeles. Și a fost ușor pentru tine?
A fost foarte ușor.
Bine.
Okay, the first thing I want to point out is that this guy right here, he's clearly speaking pretty quickly, like he's not really holding back when having this conversation. That is going to be a huge tell of whether or not someone is at least decently fluent in a language. Is not just can they speak it, but can they understand it. This clip is actually very representative of, I think, one of the more important, larger points that I want to make in this video, which is that when you are a beginner learning a language, you start off learning some of the more common words. These are gonna be your more basic words and phrases like, hi, how are you? I'm doing good, thank you, please, things like that. So one of the things that you need to look out for when watching one of these hyper polyglot speaking a million languages videos is what words they're actually using. Okay, and here he is speaking Hungarian. I want you to pay very close attention to the actual words he's saying and think about kind of the difficulty of what he's saying.
Köszönöm szépen.
Azt szeretném kérdezni, mióta tanulsz magyarul, és hogy miért tanultál meg magyarul?
Tanultam 5 éve otthon Olaszországban a könyvvel, és van pár barátom itt Budapesten, és gyakoroltam egy kicsit, de a magyar nyelv nagyon szép, de nehéz. Gondolom, hogy a magyar nyelv a legnehezebb nyelv a világon.
Hát talán a kínai talán
de Európában.
Európában egy biztos, hogy különleges nyelv a nyelvtelen miatt.
Igen.
De gratulálok, nagyon jó.
Köszönöm szépen.
Okay, so in that clip, he didn't really speak that much, which also is kind of like a red flag. I'm not saying at all that this man does not speak Hungarian fluently, but it's just an important thing to note when watching one of these videos. The point is that if all you're saying to the camera is that you learned the language with a book and you've spent 6 months learning the language or 2 years learning the language and it's a lot of fun and you love the culture, just because you know how to say those things does not mean that you could actually hold a conversation. Now, I'd like to move on to another part of this video, which is a dead giveaway for the fact that I think this guy's actually legit. Okay, so here he is speaking Portuguese.
Ouvi falar que você fala português, um pouco, mas não são isso o português do Brasil. Então eu queria saber por que escolheu o português desse país, e não do Portugal.
Eu tenho escolhido o português de Lisboa, mas falo mal. Tenho sido em Portugal
Okay, see, he's admitting it. He's admitting that he doesn't speak it super well. So the title of the video is Hyper Polyglot Speaking in 16 Languages, which might lead you to believe that he is going to speak fluently in all these languages. But the fact that he's actually admitting that he doesn't speak it Portuguese fluently is reassuring that he is for real. But I just want to recap the sort of three main points, three main takeaways from this video. First up, ask yourself, what is the format of the video? Is it just someone speaking to a camera directly, them by themselves in a room, or is it someone actually having conversations with other native speakers? Because if it's just them sitting in their room, it's sort of inherently more questionable whether or not they're actually truthful. Because as we'll go over in the later part of this video where I do that, where I try to fake learn a language, you can do many things. You can come up with a script and read it off a prompter. You could just practice rehearsed lines. The second takeaway from this video is look at the actual words the person is saying. If all they're really saying in each language is kind of like the same thing, where they're telling you they love the culture and the art and music from this language. They love watching movies and TV in that language, and that's what got them inspired. None of those things are very indicative of someone's actual fluency just because you can say you love movies and TV. And then the third takeaway from this video is how confident does this person actually seem? Because in this case, Emanuele here, he actually admits that he is not super good in some of these languages, which, humility, I would say, is a great indicator of someone's actual knowledge in a particular subject. Okay, and we have made it to the part of the video where I am going to attempt to trick you into thinking that I speak a language fluently. So I think the language we're going to attempt is Polish. I actually am Polish myself. My grandparents spoke like a little bit of Polish to me growing up, but like I could not have a conversation. If you put a Polish person in front of me and asked me to understand them, I would have literally zero clue. Okay, so we have this little script right here that I wrote out, and honestly, we're gonna keep this dead simple. I'm just gonna plug this into Google Translate, and I'm going to read it off of a script, and we're gonna see how well I actually do. Oh boy. All right, so I am roughly familiar with some Polish pronunciation. Okay, I've tried to do Polish on Duolingo, right? But again, I don't actually know Polish. Okay, well, there's only one way to do this, and that's to just go for it. I think to make this easier, we're going to set the phone up in a way that I can just like kind of read this script without you telling. Na imię Joseph I jestem polyglotą. I think it just looks like I'm looking at the script. I need to fix it. Maybe the further back I am, right? It's gotta be believable. You gotta actually think that I know what I'm saying. Okay, so I'm kind of trying to rearrange things, and what I'm realizing is that trying to fake one of these videos is even less about knowing the language and trying to just make this believable. So what I've got is like right next to the camera, I've got the script. So like, I don't know how to get around the fact that looking at the script just looks like I'm not looking at the camera, like I'm reading something. All right, here we go. Cześć, mam na imię Cześć, mam na imię. Dni ale już biegły. Wow. Że nie mówię źle. Okay, I feel like I'm doing a caricature of a Polish person. Okay, I'm sorry, not trying to offend Polish people. There's so much like sh and ch and like zh in this language. It's like, it's a weird tongue twister. Okay, so as I do more and more takes, I think the key here really is to sort of be reading ahead and then look around sort of, and that maybe makes it look a little bit more believable. Okay, so here it is, the final take that hopefully is believable enough, doesn't look like I'm looking at a script, even though I am. Cześć, mam na imię Joseph I jestem polyglotem, który mówi 100 językami. Mówię po polsku języka, którego uczy się 17 dni, ale już biegle władzem. Zdecydowałem się uczyć języka polskiego, ponieważ moi przodkowie pochodzą z Polski. Mam nadzieję, że nie mówię źle. Wykończenie jestem native speakerem. Wątpię też, czy większość że was mówi po polsku. Więc nawet jeśli mówię źle, nigdy się nie dowiecie. Alright, I think one of the takes in there has to be good enough. My final point to this video, maybe it's not even what I initially intended, okay? Because actually reading a language that I don't know off of a script that I have to make it look believable, like I actually am not just staring at a script, maybe is harder than I thought. So maybe all these people farming views and money with these fake polyglot videos, maybe there's something to it that I'm just not cut out for. Either way, I hope this was a fun video. I hope this was informative in some way on a topic that at least is very interesting to me. And if you enjoyed this, please subscribe for more language related content, and I will see everybody in the next video. Thank you.